Let's talk about the U.S. national debt. And let's do this by using Joe and Sally Smith as an example. So let's say I get a call from Joe and Sally Smith of Kansas City. They're asking for financial advice. And this is their question. We make $60,000 per year, and we've been spending $73,000 a year. We have $447,000 in credit card debt. They say we've been getting some really good advice from watching the Business Guy YouTube channel, and we've decided to cut our spending down from $73,000 a year to $71,000 a year. That's called budget cuts. Again, this is the exact same ratio if you do the math that our government has been taking in and how much they've been spending. Exact same ratios. By the way, YouTube promotes this video by the ratio of likes that it has. So if you think this is a message that America needs to hear, please click the like button below so YouTube promotes it. And you can also click the subscribe button and the notification bell so that when more videos come out like this, you'll be up to date right away. Now that's the situation in this country. And then, instead of doing budget cuts, they want to spend another multi-trillion dollars. So Joe and Sally call back and they say, well, we really couldn't get our spending down. In fact, we had some medical emergencies in the family. Now we still make $60,000 a year, but now we've been spending $113,000 a year. And by the way, instead of cutting our debt, we decided we really want a new car. We want a whole new wardrobe for each of us, and we want new carpets. So we decided to borrow another $54,000. And that would feel really good because we deserve it. We need it and we want it. And if you do a little math, these are the exact ratios of our federal government's budget. The year before COVID, the Office of Management and Budget reported that revenue was $3.464 trillion. That's less than the spending of $4.448 trillion. It created a $984 billion budget deficit. That's almost $1 trillion. And then last year, the federal government collected $3.5 trillion in revenue in fiscal year 2020. The federal government spent $6.6 trillion. That's a deficit of $3.1 trillion. Exact ratios I laid out here when we make $60,000 a year and we spend $113,000 a year and have a debt to income ratio debt of $447,000 in credit card debt. So some moron says, well, what really matters is our debt compared to our GDP. That's what really matters. No, that's just justifying bad behavior. The person who uses that stupid argument is probably the same person who makes monthly payments on their car that's parked out front. And they justify it because they got a low interest rate. And what they don't realize is they could have gotten a better deal on the car by putting that same monthly payment in the bank every month and paying cash for the car. They would have a paid off car and no monthly payments. And I don't know anybody who, given the choice, would rather have monthly payments compared to no monthly payments. But they want it now. Wah! But if you study millionaires, you'll find that most of them pay cash for cars. Yeah, well, if I was a millionaire, I'd pay cash for my cars too. No, it's not like that. One of the top 5 categories of millionaires in this country are teachers. And teachers are paid beans. But those who follow a system of investing a little bit each month and not wasting their money on interest on car debt are going to get ahead a lot further and a lot faster than those who don't follow that principle. I mean, if you ran the household like our government runs this country, you'd be so stressed out your eyeballs would be popping out of your head and dangling by the arteries and tendons. We spend $3.4 trillion a year in just interest. For our couple, following our ratios, that's $53,524 in annual interest. And if you were sitting here in my chair and somebody in America called you for financial guidance, what's the first step in getting out of debt? The first step is they can't get into any more debt. That's true. But using the conservative pre-COVID numbers, they're used to spending $73,000 a year, making $60,000. So they're going to have to cut their budget by 22% or about $13,000 a year. And that's what it's going to have to be just to get to zero, just to break even. That's not even making any progress on paying down the credit card debt, but just not to add any more credit card debt. It's going to cut into their lifestyle they've been used to loving, and it's not going to be fun. I think your daughter's really going to pitch a fit when she can't have her tennis coach. I think when you sell mama's minivan, she's going to look at the floor when you walk by and talk to you in monotone. when you have to sell Papa's treasured gun collection and the Honda Goldwing motorcycle in the garage. And when you don't take that trip to Vegas or the Bahamas or Europe, and we don't get to go out to the restaurants anymore and move to a diet of top ramen and potatoes and chicken from the grocery store. The family's going to be mad, and if you gave him that advice, your name's going to be the new cuss word in that household. That's what's going to happen, isn't it? When that family decides to get their act together, when that family decides we can't live like this any longer, spending $73,000 a year when we make $60,000 and have $447,000 in credit card debt. We're going to stick out our lip, we're going to flop on the floor and kick our feet and squirt tears up to the ceiling and have a little red face. So it's not going to be fun. But this is the only way for Joe and Sally to get back to financial reality. And if you're cutting $2,000 or $3,000 or even worse, adding $54,000 to the credit card debt, like these morons are in Congress, it's just insane and it simply won't work. And it isn't the Democrats, it's not the Republicans, it's both. We have become accustomed to spending at a volume that would make your eyeballs pop out of your head and vomit if you were doing this nonsense in your own house. They're bankrupting our country. People say, I know, we'll have to tax the rich. Well, even if you taxed the top 5% of people 110% of their incomes, it wouldn't fix the spending gap. It takes both parties coming together. Somebody's going to have to be the grown-up in the room, and it's going to be very painful, but it's the truth. Almost half of the $73,000 we're spending is going to Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. There's no way to balance the budget, Dave Ramsey says. By the way, I highly recommend you rush out right now and buy his course, The Smart Dollar Program. I bought it for myself and all my employees. It's the best family finance course I've ever taken. As he says, it is mathematically impossible to balance the budget and leave Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security alone. You could eliminate all government spending, not counting welfare, Medicare, Medicaid, and defense and Social Security, and do away with all other government spending and not balance the budget. I mean, you can close every federal office building in this country without laying a finger on Social Security, and you won't even balance the budget. If you make $2,500 a month, and your house payment is $2,000 a month, and your car payment is $500 a month, and your food and utility bills are $800 a month, you're going to lose your house, your car, or both. You can do one of two things. You can either sell your house and or your car, or you're going to lose one or both of them. So do the math. We are going to lose this country to debt, or we're going to have to do something with Social Security and Medicare. And we're going to have to raise the retirement age. And I know I don't like it either because I've been paying into this thing. Raise the age at which we collect these benefits and raise the bar on who can collect it. Or we're going to have to raise the taxes so high, we're all going to be living in squalor. Otherwise, it's sure to fail and it's going to be a problem for all of us. It's the jumbo elephant sitting in the 1,500 square foot apartment, people, that nobody cares to face. Now, I don't want Granny to starve. I love Granny. I want to see her be able to eat, but she's going to have to get ready for a financial haircut. And it's not about politics. It's about math. And you don't get a pass on math. We've already reached the breaking point. I just wonder who's going to have the gonads in Washington to stand up and say what needs to be said and then to do something about it. Folks, we need to stop voting these people in. I mean, when I interview people to see if they're going to make my company a profit. When we interview these politicians for the job, we need to know which ones are and which ones aren't going to drive our country to the brink of financial collapse. Now, I know my message is not pleasant. I know I'm going to get yeah, but comments from broke people. But I don't care. I love this country. And I'm willing to take the yucky medicine in order to get better, get healthy, get strong, and energetic again. Please click like, subscribe, and share the heck out of this video. Thanks for watching. This is The Business Guy.